Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to update your WordPress installation manually. So we'll look at a existing WordPress that needs to be updated. Now, the advantage to manually updating your WordPress is because the main reason you do it is to totally delete all of the old files, well and truly, so that you don't leave any old files behind that WordPress might accidentally leave, and then what happens is hackers can come in and use those old files to get through. So a lot of the security updates, for example, that go on with WordPress, the advantage of updating is, of course, that you are totally deleting the old files. Number two reason, sometimes your WordPress installation crashes, so you need to manually go in and install everything again. Now, that's probably number two reason. And number three, of course, is because what you'll find is that there are no old files which may cause a clash. So you may have clashing issues as well. All right. Now, the way we're going to start out is by, rather than going the please update now, we're going to manually do everything. So we're going to go into Firefox. I use Firefox FTP. So the very first thing to do is to go into the domain area, and you can see here the installation of the WordPress. Okay, first thing I want to do though is back up the database, and I think the quickest and easiest way to do that without going too tricky is to use this plugin, which is called, it's this one here, wordpress.org/plugins WP security scan. And this allows you to do a WordPress backup. So it's an easy backup of your WordPress database. So let's do that. So you're going to click to download that. I've already done that. So you'll click to download it. It'll appear in here, your downloads. Then what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to basically find it here. And it's this one here, WP Security Scan. I'm going to add it to this client's plugins. So once that installs, we'll back up the database. So WP Security Scan is now installed. So what we'll do is go across to here and we'll look at plugins, installed plugins. And there it is there. So we'll activate that. And now what we need to do is go to here and the database. So we'll back that up. So we've backed up the database. That's the first thing we've done. Now the next step is we've backed up the database. I like to do another step, which is to export all content. And so while that's happening, we can see here that we've covered off the backing up of the database and we've backed up all the WordPress files. The next step is to deactivate the plugins. And there's the file there that I'll put aside for the client. Now go into plugins and we're just going to deactivate everything for now. So just going through and deactivating everything now. So we just deactivate everything. Okay. Now there's an option here to log out. So I could have logged out now, which you technically could do, but I'm just making sure I've deactivated everything. Now the next step to check here, we've done everything there. So now what we've got to do is download and extract WordPress. So what you'll do is you'll download the latest version. So I've already done that again, 3.7.1. So you click that to download. And then what I do is I just basically go through and save it there. So it's saved on the drive. And so I basically grab it and switch it across. The next step is to start deleting everything. And of course, here's the installation there. And so this is the fresh, brand new version of what we're trying to do is now delete the old files. And what we'll do is we'll start about here. And the only thing we don't need now is the WP config sample. That file actually isn't needed. So actually we will get rid of that one. So let's just start again. We're shift clicking across everything. What we're going to leave behind though is definitely the WP config. That's definitely a file that you don't touch. Just double checking that these are the normal files to get rid of. There's a couple of other files here, but we'll just leave those alone. Definitely leave alone the htaccess file. Leave alone the favicon. And these other ones just leave alone as well. What we definitely want to remove though is these standard files that are the standard WordPress files. Be careful if there's a robot.txt file, robot.txt file, or anything else similar. They are to be left alone as well. So what we'll do, right click and delete. And then the next two things to delete is the WP admin, the WP includes, but definitely leave alone the WP content. Okay, so we're going to leave that alone. Okay, so the next folder to remove is WP includes, so that's going to be deleted as well. Okay, so now that we've deleted the WP admin, we've deleted the WP includes, and we've deleted the standard WordPress files, just remember guys that you're not to delete just willy-nilly. Things like the .htaccess need to remain, the WP content folder remains, and so does the WP config. Now, a good idea is also to, generally speaking, just copy that across. So you'd copy that back over to another folder in this side. So the WP config, you just keep a copy of that as well. Now, just to make sure we're going to the right spot here, so we're going into the main directory, we're going to basically now make sure we're in here, WordPress 3.1.7, and we're going to now copy everything across. What we're going to leave out though is this WP config sample. We don't need it because we've already got it here as a proper config file. So we're going to put that all across again. And once those files have all gone across to here, the next step will be to put in the WP admin. So I'm going to put that across. Okay, so the WP admin is now in there. The last thing we need to add now is the WP include, so we'll include that as well. So that's in and across. So that's loading across. Notice I'm just waiting for the files to sort of all upload across there. So I just do it one at a time. So we've got the WP admin, the WP content, which we left alone, and we've added all these other files as well. Once again, we left the WP config, so we never touched that. And the last thing coming across now is the WP includes. What we'll do as a next step, once that's all happened, I'll show you what the next stage will be, which is including the following. So we're reinstalling and uploading the new files. And just in case you're wondering how I did it with Firefox, sorry, I didn't mention this before, but I went into Tools, Web Developer, Fire FTP. So that's what I'm using to upload. It's free. Windows and Mac can use the Fire FTP. It's a downloadable extension for Firefox. Okay, so now that we've got the WP admin content, WP contents obviously there, WP includes, so all the files and folders are there. What we're now going to do is switch over to Safari, and we're just going to basically delete that, WP admin, and we see this is the final step. So we're going to update the database and continue. And just to recap, the way you get to that final screen where you are resetting the database, that very last step that you saw me do, what you're going to do is you're going to go typing in your domain name, so whatever it is, .com or .com.au or whatever your .com part is, /WP admin. And then in here, you're just going to press return. And that'll take you through to reset your database. So you'll click through to the 2 steps. And if you're already logged in, it'll take you straight into the dashboard. Otherwise, it will take you to the login area where you log in. So that's it. That's how you do the manual installation. Thanks for watching.